Hello and welcome, my Cancerian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. Welcome to your What Do I Need read for this full moon in Leo, waning to new moon next in Aquarius. I am your reader, Mark Angelo Lyons, Mal for short, professional witch, professional intuitive, president of Drawing the Circle Productions, son of a Cancerian mother, the Archangel of Lions, Mark Angelo Lyons, but you can call me Mal. Hi. Hey, my crab cakes. Hope you are well. Well, we'll see, right? This is waning moon. Oh boy, here we go. What do I need read? If you are new to my channel, please welcome aboard. This is an 8-card draw that we're doing. General read, 1 card from 8 different card systems. 2 tarot, 2 healing systems, 4 oracles to get you clues, tips, and hints about a specific time frame working with the waning moon. We are looking at the full moon in Leo on Thursday the 28th at 2:16 p.m. Eastern. I am in New York, so I keep it in Eastern. Waning then to the new moon in Aquarius on Thursday, February 11th, but it goes void, of course, at 2:06 p.m. the exact moment it goes new, which means we don't get any Aquarian new moon energy, but we can pick it up in Pisces too. And oh, I forgot to write down when that is. It's on my calendar. Void, of course, can last up to a day and a half. It could be a minute, right? So I just don't have that data. Sorry, forgot. Anyway, so like I said, it is a general read. Please take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Check your other signs because you might get more information from your sun sign or your moon sign on the same situation or a completely other thing that you need to know about. This is about healing. This is about what you can do. This is an empowerment read, like pulling an oracle card every day, but for a specific amount of time. So let's do just that. All the decks that I read are in the description box all the way at the bottom. Feet on the floor if possible, right? Focus on your breath as we go. You'll hear me say breathe. That's to remind myself to breathe. And if you care to breathe along, it might be assistance, keeping you in the present moment so that you can really feel intuitively as a Cancer what this all means for you, putting the pieces of the puzzle together. Shall we? Please take a nice deep breath. And here we go. My collective pantheons of angels, goddesses, gods, ascended masters, and the higher selves of all involved, 5th dimension and above, 8th chakra and above. Can I please have 1 card in clarity, a Caroline Myss archetype card to represent the soul power being developed, being alchemized from lead to gold, toxic to healthy, pain to peace, for the Cancerian collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, whether this is this archetypal pattern, one they're dealing with in another person, one in a situation can have an archetypal story going on, all of that, some of that, please. What is the dominant archetype for them? This full moon in Leo, waning to new in Aquarius, January, February 2021, the Addict. It's triggery, I'll be honest, but remember, this could be you dealing with an addict, and everybody has their own addictions. Everybody has addictions, right? Except maybe the Dalai Lama, right? You know, give credit where credit is due. This is the wild family archetype, one of the wild family archetype, I should say, in that family of archetypes. And particularly in the past year, I think a lot of us have come to face our addictions. Now, as toxic, I say this every time a toxic sounding one comes up, and what sounds more toxic than addict? There are a couple in here that might sound more toxic than addict. As sad and terrible and horrible, as painful as the shadow may seem, is as brilliant and bright as the light, and vice versa. Like, for instance, the lover archetype is gorgeous at its light, and it's like batshit crazy in its shadow. Trust me, I have the lover archetype. The shadow archetype of the addict. Remember, this could be used, it could be an addictive situation, could be anything. Compromise, integrity, and honesty allows an addictive pattern to have authority over your inner spirit. Like, how about speaking your truth in a relationship, right? Well, it can. And I've learned this over the past year. Anytime you say, well, I tell them the truth, but I don't want to hurt their feelings, that's people pleasing. That's an aspect of codependence. Just saying, right? So we all have these. We all have pain that we try and medicate, right? The 4 ego wounds, abuse, neglect, codependency, or loss, right? It's just like that. It's just that process that we all have written into us before we even incarnate. It's in the personality, in the divine plan, the sacred contract. So we're always facing addictions in one way, shape, or form. To get to the light attribute helps you recognize and confront addictive behavior within yourself and in others, so that you can go, okay, that's not my dance, but I can relate to that dance, right? Just even to have the compassion there for that. So let's keep going. We are going to clarify this with the Healing with the Angels Oracle, because what better for a waning moon, right? This could be shadow work here, your own, dealing with what somebody else's shadow triggers within you. So take a nice deep breath. My angels of water and the sign of Cancer, the Gabrielites, please. One card in clarity for the Cancerian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. This full moon in Leo, waxing to new moon next in Aquarius. What is the healing angel they need to call upon, particularly dealing with this angel archetype? Is that 2 cards? That is 1 card. This new moon to full moon next. Oh, the angel of playfulness. Now that's helpful, right? It's like, so you might just have to play along in some cases in terms of dealing with addicts. This definitely says to me that you are playing a role here, but there's a lightness about this. Now, I would never, ever pair this card deliberately with this card. So rather than try and make it fit, because it feels a little off, but the right card's always at the table. I mean, I pray and do breath work before I do these readings, getting into alignment so I can trust the process. Let's keep going. We're going to clarify that as well. We're going to use the Crystal Oracle, Tony Carmine Salerno. I'll even read you the thing in the book. It's not terribly long. Yeah, take a nice deep breath. Archangel Ariel, please. I need 1 card in clarity for this Cancerian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. This full moon in Leo to new moon next in Aquarius. Look, they got the Addict archetype with the angel of playfulness. Now, certainly the healing angel of playfulness can do a lot. I mean, I've called upon that angel in time to kind of lift me above the seriousness of a situation. So please, what is the Crystal Oracle message for the Cancerians? Whether it's something written in the book, the stone itself, all of that, some of that, please, for them this full moon to new moon next. Rhodochrosite, it's about a relationship, I'm pretty sure. And rhodochrosite is my past life stone, just saying, if that helps. Different than rhodonite, rhodochrosite. Rhodonite usually has more black and dark stuff in it, more coloration minerals. Relationship, compassion, blessings, love, and joy. I feel like you're not necessarily the addict here, but that you're dealing with someone. Look, Cancerians are the mothers of the zodiac, and how much of addiction isn't about physical pain, but emotional pain. Look how we medicate ourselves just by watching TV, right? Addicted to our phones. So it is through our relationships with others that we learn more about our own character. From a higher perspective, everyone we encounter is a reflection of ourselves. We'll come back to that. Greg Braden, 7 Essene mirrors. It's not always direct mirror. It's called the mirror of the now. And the universe has placed around us the things that will help us expand our love and tolerance, which again says to me, it's like not so much that you might have an addiction, you might be dealing with somebody who has a real hardcore addiction, that they're dealing with this waning moon. It would make sense. But to develop your tolerance, right? So that you can be a healing presence here. We meet people we like and people we dislike. When we see what we consider to be positive traits in others, we align with these characteristics because we believe them to be good. Yet, when we see what we consider to be negative aspects in others' characters, we refuse to see those same traits in ourselves because we judge them as bad. I mean, you could say that everyone is addicted to judgment. And I don't mean the good judgment of look both ways across the street. I mean when the ego possesses and just rips everything apart, right? Nice hair. Who dressed you this morning, right? You know, and I got a touch of the queen in me. I could do that. Yet the truth is that we each have each trait within us, currently or in the past. Otherwise, we would not be able to recognize those traits in another. There's a little bit left, but I have to interject here because they're like chatting in my ear. The 7 Essene mirrors, Essene. They're from the Dead Sea Scrolls. Greg Braden, Hay House author, NASA scientist, and a mystic. You can find that video on YouTube. I know, because I've watched it. It's like a 2-3 hour workshop, I think, but it is worth it. It's that, what they're talking about here is the mirror of now, which is the simplest one. That's when you're having a good day and everything, you know, green light, parking spot. Oh, it's the mirror of the now. It's lovely. And, you know, when you're having a crap day, all green, all red lights, no parking spots, and just frustration at every turn. But there's the mirror of judgment, right? That what, like, let's say you're very generous and you're very judgmental of stingy people or penny pinchers, right? So you attract those until you go, wow, I have a judgment about this. It might be more of that. And there are other mirrors. I'm just saying those are the first 2 out of 7. This last part, you're being urged to examine the traits you don't like in others, and rather than merely judge them as bad or avoiding them, look at what they reflect. Oh, this is a second pager within you. Developing a compassionate attitude will help you realize that often the judgments we make about others are judgments we make about ourselves in different categories of our lives. In other words, if someone's a spendthrift or they're addicted to shopping and buying things and they have the money to do it, it's very different than somebody who's addicted to a drug, right? But it's the same medication pattern there. All relationships are a mixture of positive and negative. They help us broaden our understanding of life and love and help us to see more of who we are. Oh, and they give you affirmation. Isn't that cute? I love and accept myself as I am. I love and accept the world as it is. Deep in my heart, I know that beyond my perceptions of good and bad, only love exists. And I'll buy that last one. Yeah. Oh, I say that one's okay. me being all judgmental. Right? Sometimes affirmations, well, I started doing affirmations when I was like 17 years old, reading Creative Visualization by Shakti Gawain in the 80s, right? After a while, I mean, how much do you want to write on your mirror with eyeliner? The 80s. Still going on, although I'm only wearing mascara today. Let's keep it a little bit light, right? Playfulness. Like how, let's just keep going. Now we'll do the tarot. The tarot will probably spill the tea across the table. What's going on here? Tarot narrative. Please take a nice deep breath. Yes, my goddesses of Cancer, the triune throne of Hestia, Hera, and Hecate. What's going on here? What does this Cancerian collective sun, moon, rising, Venus side need to be aware of inside of themselves, their own feminine energy, the heart, throat, third eye, and crown chakras? This full moon in Leo, waning to new in Aquarius, January into February 2021. The moon, your card. You are the moon children. Be very aware of what's going on in your interior world right now. Things might seem cloudy and occluded, but the path is right under your feet. What I love about this card, Yemaya, I love Yemaya, what's not to love, right? Path is always beneath your feet. The golden timeline, the soul's path, the way forward, whatever you want to call it, the hero's journey. Your feet never leave it. But there are times when the full moon is shining at the water's edge that you see the path revealed. It's always there. You know what to do. You may not know what to do here, but you know what to do here and here. Love is your answer here, obviously. But to be playful with an addiction, I don't know. I still don't get how that playful angel comes in. But with the Emaya, there's a lot of depth here. There's a lot of emotion here. And by the way, I've yet to meet a Cancerian, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus sign that didn't have some kind of intuitive empathic skill. Not the social empathy that we're all supposed to have, and yet many don't. I'm talking about that feeling other people's feelings, right? Feeling their energies in your own cell tissue. It's part of, look at me. I'm trying to block it off from my solar plexus right this second, right? Let's keep going. I want to, look, I'm interested in every single reading that I do as I do them, right? But this feels like, it's always that first card with that archetype deck, but it's better to know. And this definitely is a waning moon read, right? What are you supposed to let go, release, transform, heal, etc.? Breathe. My gods of water and the sign of Cancer, please, I need one card in clarity for this Cancerian collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. What do they need to be aware of outside of themselves? Lower 3 chakras, root, sacrum, solar plexus, physical world, literal level of power, the masculine energy part of this, either how they appear from the outside looking in, or something they need to be aware of that I'm sure that intuitive moon in their interior world is just highlighting for them, even if a bit cloudy, for this full moon in Leo, waning to new in Aquarius, January 2021. The Empress. Are you kidding me? You've got the love. You've got the, this has got to be you. Either that or you are dealing with an Empress and they usually have their shit together, right? A mother figure, a wife, regardless of gender. You know what I'm saying? The divine feminine, the queen, the amalgamated queen, the four queens of the tarot, the minor arcana together as one, the spirit queen, if you will, the emperor, the major arcana of that. I mean, you can't get more mother energy in this. This says to me, you are dealing with a child of some kind, or you need to be mothering yourself, but I think there would be a different card here if that were the case. If you are a mother, and I've yet to meet a Cancerian that wasn't in one way, shape, or form, even if they never had children. Oh, my roommate in college at the Boston Conservatory, she's probably watching this. Lillian Carter, brilliant choreographer, living with her. We lived in a studio apartment on the Fenway. What's a Fenway? About 10 pounds. A genius, but I used to watch her conceive pieces of choreography, labor on them, and give birth to them. Norma Jean, woman, if you can see her work, woman. She's actually filmmaking now with her choreography. Lillian, if you're there, put a link in the box below. I love you, woman, right? Woman, hear you roar. Look, I've grown up with this Cancerian energy. My mother itself, you know what to do, but love is your answer here. Love is your answer here. And if there are judgments in play, really look at your own and understand that the ego cannot forgive. That's the voice that judges, but the judgment needs to be heard because usually at the core of the judgment is a piece of intuitive wisdom. So if we don't let ourselves at least sit with our judgments for a hot second, we might be missing out on the very gut hunch that later we go, why didn't I, right? So think of this golden nugget of intuition deep in you. I mean, this is the moon. It's like you're pregnant with this intuition. You might not be able to put words into it, right? But if the judgments are then around that golden nugget of intuition, like lead, right? Like an insulator, looks like lead, but give it a voice. Don't speak it out loud. Don't act on it, right? But allow that judgment to rise and give it the love that only you can give it so that that's alchemy. Everybody's addicted to something, and judgment is one of them. Until we understand the alchemy, and it's usually this part of us that hasn't been heard and has the shadow, it's shadow work. I mean, I should just call these readings for waning moon, the what do I need reads, shadow work, but then nobody would watch them. Let's keep going, all right? Lover's Oracle, couldn't be better. Now, look, we're going to find out in this. This isn't all about romance. This deck I have come to find. Tony Carmine Salerno does the Crystal Oracle as well. I love his work. So let's see what the pantheons of love, which means all across the board, like the same pantheons, collective pantheons I do for this, I do for this. Breathe. Please, oh please, oh please. My collective pantheons of love. One card in clarity. Absolutely, I will do my best. These are hard to riffle shuffle, but I will do my best because they're shaped like hearts. My collective pantheons of love. Please, one card in clarity. For this Cancerian collective sun, moon, rising, Venus signs that are dealing with this addict archetype, that the angel of playfulness that they need, and the rhodochrosite that they need to really look at those judgments and heal them with that card of the moon on the inner and the empress on the outer. What is the lover's oracle message you have for my beloved Cancerian crab cakes this full moon in Leo, waning to new moon in Aquarius, January, February 2021? Let there be closeness between you, but always give each other space. Love never claims. It simply allows and it gives. Now, you'd have to get up really close to your screen to read that, but I read it verbatim. I'll read it again for you. Let there be closeness between you, but always give each other space. Love never claims, it simply allows and gives, which is a way of doing this if you are dealing with an archetype without being codependent. To say, I love you, I'm going to give you space to do this, but I can't watch you do this. I've done it. It's not easy, right? Instead of being an enabler, it's hard. And I feel like that's your role here. Like, you know, codependency is an addiction. Don't kid yourself. And we learn it from our families. And I've yet to meet anybody who didn't struggle with it in one way, shape, or form, right? At least in the Western world. You know, back in the olden days, it wasn't codependency, it was dependency. It was like, screw your dreams. We have to build a log cabin so that we can live in it, right? We have to hunt, we have to gather, we have to plow fields. We don't have time for your soul's calling, right? Well, and so we stuffed a lot of stuff and we had to get along. But now we have cell phones. We're carrying around the Alexandrian library in our pockets, right? We have information about addiction. And nobody wants to deal with it, and yet, if we don't, it deals with us. There's a limit beyond which the child of God can miscreate. That's a bit of an extrapolation on something from A Course in Miracles. You just can't do drugs. You just can't do, pick one, forever, right? You just can't. Eventually, the body says enough is enough. And in relationships as well, right? If there is something, if there's a codependent relationship here, if there's an addiction going on, it's so easy when it's somebody you love, particularly if you're a Cancerian and you're feeling their pain. This is for you to heal on yours. You cannot heal someone else of their addiction. This is a tricky reading. Now, I got to say, the Gemini reading just as tricky. Like the first two, Aries and Taurus, was fun. This is trickier, I think, when I remember. All right, 2 more cards down and we'll put it together. Whispers of Love Oracle, the voices of the higher selves of all involved, meaning not just you, everybody involved here, 5th dimension and above, 8th chakra and above. Please take a nice deep breath. The higher selves of all involved for this Gemini collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. What is the piece of information, inspiration, or insight that they need this full moon in Leo, waning to new moon in Aquarius? The whisper of love, please, considering they're dealing with the addict within themselves, within another, within a situation, all of that, some of that. They need to call upon the angel of playfulness. They need to work with that rhodochrosite. They need to really be aware of what's going on in their intuitive field, their interior world, because they know. But they also need to be aware that they are most likely playing the role of the Empress here, and this can be done in a balanced fire, earth, air, water way, and that the Empress is a major arcana, so there's wife, mother energy going on here, and that they need to let there be closeness between them, but also give each other space, never claiming, simply allowing, giving that space, taking that space if needed, please. So what is the whisper of love for them this full moon to new moon next? Slow down. Oh, thank you. Slow down. When you are excited, you get ahead of yourself. Take some time to allow things to unfold. This is something that you are dealing with another person, I'm pretty sure. That sometimes, and again, that card of playfulness, the only way that makes sense to me in this moment, we will see what the last card down is in a minute, is that you play your role. Ask, call to the healing angel of playfulness, help me play my role here in the wisest way, in the happy, healthy way. Oh, happy, healthy, right? Grounded, stable, authentic way as the Empress acting upon and being aware of. You know what to do. But to slow down, you don't have to do it right this second. When you are excited, in other words, inflamed, right? Like, or whatever, worried, sad, depressed. Particularly if you're an empath picking up on other people's stuff, when you are excited, you get ahead of yourself. Take some time to allow things to unfold. So this is in other words, in this dance, you're not the only person dancing. That's why I'm not so sure. If there is an addictive pattern here for you, you might want to look into Codependent No More, Melody Beattie. Just a book, just a thing to Google, right? Because that term codependence has shifted so drastically over the decades. I watched it shift. And I really don't know anybody who doesn't have to deal with codependence, if not at home and at work, You know, particularly it's a boss. People pleasing is a form of it. It's a lot. I know, I'm giving you a lot. It's worth it. And I love my crab cakes. I've always had a Cancerian woman in my life. Always. Please take a nice deep breath. And still do, Mom. I love you. Please. She's alive. I'm calling her later. She's on a Zoom lecture right now because the nut does not fall very far from the tree. Please take a nice deep breath. My ascended masters, please. General Assembly, yes, and particularly of soul contract, if possible, please. What is the perfect healing mantra from the Metcon healing mantra deck for this Cancerian collective? Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs for this new moon, full moon in Leo to new moon next in Aquarius, January to February 2020, considering the Addict, playfulness, rhodochrosite, the moon, the Empress, giving space, taking space, slow down. Amplifying abundance? Amplifying abundance. Okay, that does not make sense, but let's get it on the table. Abundance is my birthright, and I receive it now. This card hasn't popped out in months, and when I do the live streams, I have a little jingle. Abundance is my birthright, and if you've been following me for a while, you know that. I don't get how this plays in, but maybe you will. Let's see, the guides maybe will explain, maybe they won't. Maybe some of this is so private that I'm not supposed to understand it. Who knows? We'll find out. Amplifying abundance. Abundance is my birthright, and I receive it now, which, by the way, there we go. Demeter, the goddess of abundance. All right, so it's on the table. Well, and Yemaya, the moon, and internal abundance as well, right? Internal abundance of intuition. When you are abundant, you feel confident that life will always meet your needs, whether things go according to plan or not. So your needs are going to get met. The universe is going to take care of you regardless of what goes on with this addict archetype, and whatever it is that you choose to do, you are going to be provided for. Abundance is not a matter of having more than enough, but of seeing from the soul's perspective that only your ideas and beliefs can ever limit your experience. And that's the truth. That's the narratives that we make, right? That's why letting the mind rule alone, very divine masculine, needs to be balanced with the heart, but ruling with the heart only alone without the wisdom of the third eye ain't no piece of cake either. This is about the balance. And of course, the Empress has the balance of that. Abundance is a readiness to be supported by the universe in exchange for letting your light shine at full capacity. Your light is your truth, to be authentic. Look, I have said to plenty of an addict, and believe me, I have dealt with them in every shape and form that I can imagine and remember right now. I love you, but I can't watch you do this. This is your choice. Here's the consequence of the choice. I can't do this. I love you. But this, I can't even do with you, right? To have that boundary. And sometimes then the people wake up, and sometimes they don't until they hit bottom. And by the way, hitting bottom isn't just for drugs and alcohol. You can hit bottom in a codependent relationship. If you're in a relationship whose expiration date is already past months ago, if not years ago, then look at, why am I still here? And that's a hard question to ask. And if it is a child of yours, then you know you're still there, right? Let me get the last bit of this. This mantra is ideal for unraveling beliefs of lack and scarcity, overcoming fear, and increasing confidence. Look, if you're the Empress in this, your gut is telling you exactly what to do. Let me put it all together in the blessing. Please take a nice deep breath, and please breathe in this blessing however it may come out. Breathe. I feel like tarot triage today. My beloved pantheons of the divine, please bless the Cancerian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs watching this video in this reading, that they may have all that they truly need from this full moon in Leo, waning to Aquarius, waning to new moon in Aquarius, January into February 2021, that they may receive the energy of rhodochrosite, to see the mirrors in place here, the mirrors of the now, the mirrors of judgment, and return it to love, to allow those judgments to be loved and held and cummed up so the lead may be alchemized, revealing the gold nugget intuition within it. and that playfulness, that they can bring some lightness and levity to their own selves, realizing that they are playing a role in something that deep in their gut they need to acknowledge with that card of the moon, that deeper intuition, that they need to let there be closeness between them, but always giving each other space. Love never claims. It simply allows for space, gives and takes space that they need so that they can slow down. So that when they're excited, they don't get ahead of themselves, that they need to take some time to allow things to unfold in dealing with an addict archetype in the shadow, compromising integrity and honesty, allowing an addictive pattern to have authority over their own inner spirit. We'll get to that in a second, so that they can move into that light attribute, helping them recognize and confront addictive behavior as the Empress, as that divine, unconditional love in form with clarity and boundaries, because abundance is their birthright and they receive it now, and they will always, may they always be given all that they need in any given moment, physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually, to allow their light shine, their truth be grounded into physical form, for their well-being and for the well-being of all, like a contract. The more they shine, the more abundance they amplify in their lives, for their well-being, for the well-being of everyone around them, and for the well-being of all. So mote it be, and so it is. It's an intense fucking read. It's an intense fucking read. And look, I could understand you might not want to hit the thumbs up on that, but if it clicked for you, like it, right? Want more? Subscribe, comment. I don't know if you can comment on this in a public forum, but if you feel like doing it and you can couch the words, please do. Really wishing you the very best and the very blessed of this is so waning moon. All 4 of these reads I've done so far, right? Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Scorpio. These have all very much been waning moon readings. So may you get all that you need, my Cancerian, my crab cakes. Hail, farewell, and blessed, blessed be.